I'm sorry if you guys have talked about this before, but I think people are interested on how you guys were even approached to do a reality show when you were in high school. Like, you know, who did MTV have to go to get that started?
Yeah, so I think they were trying to do something in LA for a little while. And then somebody, and I know they say they had the idea before the OC came out, but I think as people started to float around where they weren't really finding the area in LA that they wanted, and the OC started to air, they're like, let's go look down in Laguna or in Orange County, and they found Laguna and started looking there. And yeah, early on, it was through our school. It was at the high school. And rumors were honestly flying around for months, if not maybe a year. I remember it was around for a long time. And then all of a sudden, one day, they showed up in like January. And they had, everyone was filling out packets, and some producers were there at break and lunch. And yeah, they just got a little information on everybody. And then they started bringing people in, getting more information, more details. And then that weekend was the Super Bowl, the performance with Janet Jackson and Justin
Mm.
Timberlake. We had wardrobe malfunction. That was an MTV production. So for some reason, that's what was eventually the last flag for like the parents and the teachers association, if you will, the school board to be like, actually, you know what, MTV, maybe we get off campus. And so they had already met everyone, but that's why you never see any of our high school or anything, is because eventually the school, I think after that production, was like, you know what, maybe this is a bad idea, and kicked them off campus. Meanwhile, the kids had already met everyone. They'd already met all the
Yeah.
kids, yet we were already on board. So from there, yeah, they shot a lot of people. They shot a huge, man, just hours and hours of footage for like 2 weeks, and then cut it all down. And then they brought a few of us in with our parents to this suite at the St. Regis in Dana Point, I believe it is, and showed us a little presentation. This is not the pilot that eventually ended up on MTV, but this was the pilot presentation for
Yeah.
the parents,
They
if you
made it look
will.
nice to the parents. They
Yeah,
made it look like, oh, look at
yeah,
these
yeah.
wholesome kids in high school.
I know. And then, to my shock, the first episode, it's like me just straight up like in this like full blown love triangle, cheating on these girls left and right, thinking I'm getting away with it. And I remember watching the first episode like, oh fuck. What did I get myself into?
I can't even imagine if they brought the cameras into the school. That it would have just
Oh,
been chaos.
I know. I don't even. It would have been so weird, and also there would have been probably a lot of like food flying through frame. Like
Yeah.
kids are so weird in high school. Could you
Mm-hmm.
imagine like what's going on? Like how would they would actually be able to shoot something? It'd probably have to be after school. But
Right.
the idea of a camera being in the corner of a classroom, while Mr. Olney's teaching me econ and the rest of my senior friends are just gonna let it slide, like
Yeah.
fuck no, I'm gonna get
No.
crushed.
Right.
We
He.
already got crushed around Laguna. I had friends that
Yeah.
they saw me sitting outside of cafe with Lauren. I think this actually happened. One of my first time shooting a scene. A couple buddies like drove by, and all the windows were down. They were hollering all sorts of things I can't repeat now. But yeah, they were laying into me, which was pretty fun.
What I have found so interesting too, when you guys talked about it in your kind of intro episode, which is where you were talking about all this stuff too, is that you then just went to college and the show wasn't on, and you're just a freshman trying to fit in and make friends, and now all of a sudden you're the star of Laguna Beach on an MTV reality show. How how did your peers see you in college at that time? Because I remember you said something, you had to like move dorms. You moved
Yeah,
dorms later.
I was on the waiting list to the dorms. So MCV actually got lucky with this because I first stayed in Trey, who's on Laguna, his parents' condo in downtown San Francisco, which is a very beautiful place, and
Yeah.
no college freshman deserves to be living there. But they were kind enough to let me live in it for a month until I got off the waiting list. Classic, high school procrastinator over here. I got on, I signed up for the dorms a little late. And so MTV got to shoot there. And of course, it looks like me, this kid from Laguna Beach going to here's his condo that he's living in for college, which is not the case at all. Um, and I got in there, and I had my friend go and check out who my roommate was. Seemed like a cool guy. And I was like, all right, seemed like it's all good. And I walk in to meet my roommate, and he's like, holy shit, dude, are you on that Laguna Beach show? And he immediately goes to his computer, like brings up like the little MTV website and just the smallest little profiles they have on everybody. And he goes, no fucking way. What the fuck? It's so random. His
I
name's
can
Ryan.
envision this.
Yeah. And he was like, what the, like, how the, he's just like, wants to know everything. And then from there, with other groups of friends, they were like, how does this all happen? They want to know, how did this happen? Is this real? And I'm like, it's complicated. Like, everyone sit down and grab a drink. I'll try to explain it all to you. But then from there, we had some pretty fun little watch parties where they wanted live commentary as the episodes aired, which we did. And I was seeing them for the first time, and I'm like, and I remember like, the prom episode, they show like Chris and I kind of going in this hotel room. I was like, oh shit, like Kristen's gonna hear it from her dad on that one. That's not good. Like she's gonna be in a lot of trouble there. And so they definitely enjoyed that. But the funny thing was, Ryan Satin was my roommate, and the time he was working on acting and maybe wanted to become an actor, but he wound up switching gears and he wound up working for TMZ, and he's now a host for wrestling for Fox Sports, does some stuff for them. But it was kind of funny. We kind of did this 180 where I thought I was going to maybe do hosting and work on that side, and then he was going to act, and we kind of did this 180 after school. But it was just random who I got paired up with, but we had a good time in college. So thankfully I had a good group of people that took care of me, because there were a lot of knuckleheads, of course, that would just want to kick my ass because I was on TV.
Right.
So going to parties was always a little bit of a difficult situation, but good group of kids that I'm always grateful for.